This is my wonderful friend Trish. And today we are talking to everyone about the do's and don'ts of feeding ducks. So stick around to learn more.
An idea.
You can escape.
Ideas are bulletproof.
Welcome to my kitchen. We want to start off by telling you the don'ts of what not to feed ducks. And a lot of people automatically assume bread and crackers, which is a definite don't. That is filling them up on all kinds of stuff that doesn't give them any nutrition at all and leaves them full so they don't eat anything else to get that nutrition. Now there are actually several other foods that you should be aware not to give them as well, such as some vegetables.
Onions and avocado are both really toxic for ducks and other birds too, so just don't feed them to ducks. Spinach is also really bad for them because it reduces the calcium their bodies are able to intake, and it can lead to poor egg development. A little bit of spinach won't kill a duck, but it's just a stupid idea.
Better to avoid it in general.
Yeah.
Also, apparently nuts aren't good for them. A lot of people assume that nuts are okay because seeds are okay, but they're actually not. They're apparently too big. As well as popcorn. It doesn't digest and it can get caught in their throat. So definitely a no for nuts and popcorn as well. And just a few other points about some fruits and seeds not to give them.
Citrus fruits are always bad for ducks. They're too acidic, it'll give them a stomachache, and a duck won't show signs of having a stomachache because that would make them look weak and a predator will eat them, and that's sad. And while most seeds are okay for ducks, apple seeds and cherry seeds can actually be toxic, so just don't give them cherry seeds or apple seeds.
Avoid those ones in particular. But moving into things that are good to give them, as we mentioned, seeds are a good thing. Just certain seeds in particular, such as sunflower seeds, and generally seeds just in moderation because they have similar issues as bread and crackers in that they fill them up without providing a very much nutrition. Another good thing for ducks that is kind of a surprise to both of us was cat and dog food. Apparently that has a really good amount of protein, which can be good for them, but that increased protein can also make them stink just a little bit more. So if the ducks that you're feeding live close to your home, maybe not something to consider. Also, cooked oatmeal is good for them apparently, but the key thing there is it has to be cooked, not raw.
And aside from the veggies that we mentioned earlier, most veggies are actually perfectly fine and actually really good for ducks, such as lettuce. Basically every kind of lettuce is okay for a duck. Gotta cut it up though, the leaves are a bit big. Tomatoes are also great for ducks. Cherry tomatoes are easy, you just gotta cut them in half. Don't give them the leaves or the vines though, as those can be toxic. As well, most fruits are good for ducks. We don't recommend canned fruits because they tend to have a bit too much processed sugar for ducks, but things such as cut-up apples are fantastic.
And a final note for something that you can give ducks, which is really quite simple, is just flowers. Some wild flowers can actually be poisonous, but things such as dandelions, which are incredibly plentiful, are something you can feed them, as well as pansies and clover flowers. So something to consider, maybe just pass through a field on your way to go feed ducks and grab a few dandelions. That would be a good thing to feed them. So now we're gonna go and show you feeding all these vegetables to the ducks. So we're starting off with the lettuce.
Let us feed ducks.
Let us feed ducks. And they're liking it.
Oh no, the geese are
Oh, but the geese are coming to attack. So many geese. The geese are always a consequence, but we will deal because we want to feed the duckies too. Do the geese like the lettuce? Are they gonna eat it?
It doesn't look like they're interested.
Yeah, they're like, where's my bread? Bread's not good for you. Bread's not good for you. So now we're gonna switch over to apples. We're gonna switch over to the apples and see what they like. Do the duckies like the apples? Oh yeah, they're chasing after them.
Oh, the geese like them too.
Oh, the geese like the apples too. Something else you can give them, which we kind of forgot to mention earlier, was banana chips or dried out fruit. It'd be a good idea to try and break them up so that, you know, it's in small bites that they can get, because they basically eat everything in one bite. But yeah, you can see that they really enjoy all this fruit and veggies that we're giving them.
Ow, hey.
Holy cow!
I'm trying to scoop it into my hand.
Yeah, they like those tomatoes a lot.
The geese seem to like the tomato seeds, but not the tomato skins. I don't know that much to them. Okay, try tomatoes with the ducks.
Yeah, I watched the duck eat up the tomato. Yeah, see, the ducks are eating up all the apples and tomatoes.
I've never had a goose eat out of my hand before.
Be careful, he'll snip you though.
Yeah, his beak is pretty sharp.
It's always fun to feed them, but you gotta be careful because they do get at your fingers sometimes. So in the end, you can see that they really do like the fruits and vegetables, just as much as you see them go at the bread. And this stuff is way better for them. This will fill them up on stuff with nutrition. So just keep in mind and share with everyone that if you want to go duck feeding or goose feeding, even though it is a wonderful pastime, that it is better to try and feed them fruits and vegetables and seeds of certain kinds, as we mentioned before. And be careful of certain vegetables as well, like spinach and onion. And try to stay away from the grains, such as bread and seeds that a lot of people do try to feed them, because those fill them up way too much and don't give them enough nutrition.
And be sure to dice them up so that way they can eat them without choking.
So in the end, we found that they didn't really seem to like the lettuce very much. It didn't go down too well. There's still whole kinds of it on the ground. But they did seem to like the apples, eh?
Yeah, and they really like the tomatoes too.
They went at those a lot.
I noticed some of the geese didn't really care for the tomatoes, but the other geese ate them up just fine. So I don't know, maybe for geese it's a preference thing.
But, so if you're going for ducks, they like tomatoes, something to keep in mind. Anyway, thank you so much, Trish, for joining me with duck feeding and teaching everyone about the ducks.
It was great to get to come and feed ducks.
Yay! And we did it with their nutritional value in mind. So try to keep all those little notes that we mentioned in mind if you ever want to go duck feeding. And feel free to comment below about anything you know about what's good or bad for duck feeding or goose feeding. And join me again next week where I try again to share a little something I've learned in life.
Don't feed those filthy seagulls.